Hey guys, it's Ryan Fowler with Inner Masculine Live, here for another fun-filled, fact-filled episode. So today we are going to talk about narcissistic mothers. The reason I want to talk about this topic is probably about 10-15% of the guys that come to me have a narcissistic mom. They are some of the most damaged, most trauma, bad, subconscious programs in them, hardest for them to get ahead. And it's a fair amount of my clients. So, and a lot of them, some of them know their moms are narcissists or that there's something wrong with her, but some of them are kind of oblivious. And this, BPD tends to be more obvious. It just kind of depends. But when there's narcissistic traits, narcissistic fathers too, we'll talk about that a little bit today. But some people are totally in the dark. I had no idea my mom, I didn't know anything was wrong with my mom until I was early 20s and got into normal therapy. And that's one of the benefits of the normal therapies. It did give me some clarity, although the actual healing took forever. And I'll just say some guys don't even know. And so they're struggling. They're like, why am I such a loser? Why am I struggling in life? Why can't I get ahead? Why do I have so much anxiety? They know that they have a lot of pain inside and they have no idea why. So for some of you guys, this will just be, kind of academic, but other guys watching this are going to say, oh, damn. Oh, yeah. Okay. She did that. She did that. She did that. And a mom doesn't have to be full-blown NPD. And this can apply to dads too, but dads tend to be narcissists in a different way. They tend to be more overt, more of the classic malignant type instead of the covert narcissist type. Females who are physically weaker tend to just be more covert, more into, insidious, underhanded psychological warfare. Narcissistic dads will do that too, but it's more prominent, the covertness of it, the insidiousness of it. And as you guys know, my mom has NPD. And that did a real number on me. I had general anxiety disorder, manic depression. It's mild mania, it's very severe depression, complex PTSD. The list goes on. Can come up with a couple other things too. But I wanted to give you guys awareness about this. And also, this is very important when you are dating women. If you see women start to do any of this stuff, then it's a red flag. And you're going to want to stay away. In fact, I should change the title of narcissistic mothers and dating partners, significant others, because, a narcissistic mom is a narcissist to the husband too, or to anyone she's dating. So before we dive into that, so this is really going to help you guys, man, even if you guys haven't had narcissistic moms, look out for this when dating. Because, and again, it can be insidious. I'll talk a little bit about dating, how narcissistic women will love bomb you up front. Maybe I'll do a whole show on that tomorrow. I'll mention some of that today. But before we dive into that, a topic that I think will really elucidate some of you guys and really give you some understanding if you've dealt with anyone like this. Before we get into that, just a reminder for you guys that you can see on the bottom of the screen here, innermasculine.com, free ebook. Ebook's coming in a week and a half or so. And so if you want to get it, absolutely no charge whatsoever, just go right here, innermasculine.com, free for a free ebook. And you can see right here, get on the waiting list, coming to you free, just pop in your email. And I will show you here the table of contents so you see what is coming down the pipeline. So let me show you this. I'm actually probably going to put a little bit more in than what is, here we go, than what's in the table of contents. I'll probably add a little bit more because I should talk about how addiction works, what's going on with that subconsciously, a couple other things. But this is going to give you just a real fundamental understanding of how our subconscious mind works, why it keeps you stuck. And so go ahead, look at this. Everyone has heard of our subconscious. Most of you guys have heard 95% of our behavior is controlled by our subconscious, but people just don't really understand how the subconscious works. This is going to give you all the fundamentals that you need to know about how our subconscious mind works. Our brain, you look at the table of contents, how our brain pursues the familiar, avoids the unfamiliar. Stronger program, pursue pleasure. Even stronger, strongest of all, our brain motivates us to avoid pain. I'm going to show you how that applies. A ridiculous amount of human behavior is explained by that. Our brain can use pleasure to cover pain. That's where a lot of addiction comes in. But addiction can be a cycle of chasing pleasure, but then the activity itself causes shame, which is pain, and you need more pleasure to cover that up. We'll go into that. How our subconscious programs develop in childhood, what's going on, how that, what a subconscious program is, how does it affect our conscious mind? How does it control our behavior? What is a subconscious program? How it affects us as adults, the 5 core bad subconscious traumas. We'll go into how to clear them. 4 of these traumas can trigger anxiety. And so what is anxiety? What is that all about? Why do you have anxiety? Why do you have resistance? Why do you have limiting beliefs? Why do you procrastinate? These 5 core traumas, I specialize in not only getting these out of people, but replacing them with the best beliefs, because a bad subconscious program is a painful feeling tied to a belief that does not serve you, that holds you back. We get rid of that belief and feeling, the trauma. We replace it with the best core beliefs. I didn't even try and double my income, but after I cleared this stuff myself 10.5 years ago, my income just doubled. I was like, whoa, it's like, that's what happens when you clear all the gunk out. Now, some people have a little gunk in their subconscious. Some have a lot. Most have at least some. I had a lot. You clear that out, you just tend to take off. You tend to get what you want. Your life just up levels and up levels. You clear out more, your life gets even better. So how do these 4 traumas trigger anxiety, hold you back, otherwise limiting beliefs? We'll talk about motivational archetypes. You'll see the different motivational archetypes people have and how it can mess them up. The first 2 are not good motivational archetypes. The last one is great, but you need to get trauma out of you to get to the last one. Just pursuing your dreams, realizing your dreams, nothing holding you back, moving forward. You're going to understand this. You're going to understand what procrastination is, why we procrastinate, why we have limiting beliefs, why we self-sabotage. All that's going to be laid out in the ebook. It's not going to go into heavy detail, like be a super heavy read. It's going to lay out the fundamentals for you guys. So you have a very clear, concise, simple understanding of all these topics, and you're going to be able to apply this in your own life to get clarity in your own life as to what's really going on with your subconscious. No charge at all. Just go to innermasculine.com, free ebook, good to go, and you'll get that. So I have an interesting article for you guys today, and this I show this to my clients all the time, and it actually not just straight up narcissist mothers, but a lot of dysfunctional, traumatized, antisocial personality trait mothers, also fathers, will exhibit these characteristics. And man, if women you're dating exhibit this, it's a sign you should just get the hell out of there. So let's dive into these 24 characteristics of a narcissistic mother, and I will explain how it applies to people you date and guys too as well, because there's a lot of overlap here. So here we go, diving in 24 characteristics of narcissistic mothers. Boom. All right. My mom has about 85% of these, 85%, which is severe. It really is. If you have one of these, it's a problem. So there's kind of the table of contents there, but I'll go through each one here. Number 1, everything she does is deniable. Now, a lot of people notice, oh, women won't be accountable. Well, actually, some women will be accountable. I've had, here in Mexico, women, if they make a mistake, they actually usually tell me they're sorry. I think I understand why women don't want to face accountability. If someone has one of these 24, it doesn't make them an absolutely horrible human being, but it is a red flag. So everything she does is deniable. What a narcissistic mother does is she is making her abuse deniable. And that is really the crux of it. There's always an excuse or explanation cruelties are couched in loving terms. Aggressive and hostile acts are paraded as thoughtfulness. Manipulations, control, the gifts. Oh, I'm just trying to be a good mother. I'm just watching out for you. I'm just trying to help you. I'm so concerned that you, because you're such a troubled child. I'm so concerned for you. Criticism and listen, if they're like, oh, I'm so concerned that you're a problem child. What are they telling you? They're telling you you're a problem child, but they're putting it in these terms of, oh, I'm concerned, I'm loving, I'm so concerned of what a loser you are. That's what they're saying. They're making you feel worthless while making them seem concerned. That's a message that they're conveying. Oh, she only wants what's best for you. She only wants to help you. Rarely says outright you're inadequate. She'll compare you to others who are doing something better than you. When you do something good, she'll say, well, this person did it better. Or she'll just ignore you, won't give you any praise ever. Or very rarely, or give you praise, but it's like baited to some sort of trap, or there's some sort of left-handed compliment, backhanded compliment in there. Will ignore you and later do something cruel. So you understand not to get above yourself. I mean, this is just very, very, very common. Really, there's, not being accountable is one thing, but being like intentionally cruel, like intentionally making you feel bad, and then couching that in terms of, I'm just trying to do what's right for you. I would say if they're doing the latter, you just want to, if you're dating anyone like this, get the hell out of there. Honestly, when you date narcissistic women, they actually will love bomb you and not do this at first. But when it starts to see, they'll wait till they get you hooked on their, addicted to their validation. For those of you who have a lot of codependent or toxic shame tendencies, that's what they'll do. They'll love bomb you. And then they'll start slipping in this stuff later. So this happens with women you date too. Women with red flags, women you want to run away from. So a lot of put downs, comparing you to others, spoil your pleasure. This is all, insidious. She's not outright punching you in the face. If someone punches you in the face, if it's a parent, after a while, you're like, this ain't right. And yeah, it does damage to you, but say, screw this. And then as a teenager, you stand up to your dad, or even younger, you stand up to your mom, you punch them back because it's obvious they're abusing you. By the time you're teen, you're very obvious. By the time you're 10, 12, very obvious they're abusing you. Well, the reason they are covert in their abuse is because if they can hide the fact that they're abusing you and that they're just really trying to do this for your own good, then you will tolerate the abuse far longer if you don't even realize it's abuse, as opposed to them punching you in the face and eventually you punch them back much sooner. So a lot of this narcissistic mothers, it's just insidious manipulations, covert. It's a tone of their voice. It's a look she gives you. She'll congratulate you but maybe in a snotty way, but she'll do it in a way where she's like, well, what are you talking about? I gave you a compliment. It's just, oh man, the way they do this. And what you need to understand is these narcissistic mothers, if they have full-blown narcissistic personality disorder or even strong personality traits, they are actually trying to hurt you because they're emotional bullies and they get a power trip off of emotionally hurting you. How a normal bully works in a schoolyard bully is that schoolyard bully, probably because of his home life, feels powerless and insignificant. And that's a terrible feeling for him. So he's like, I feel powerful and insignificant. You know what? I'm going to beat up this kid smaller than me. I feel pretty powerful now. It's a counter. It counters a feeling of powerlessness. It helps them cope with a feeling of powerlessness. It makes them feel powerful for a moment. Well, narcissists do that on an emotional level. They bully your emotions. They make you feel worthless. And they're like, yeah, I'm not so bad. Look at this person I just messed up. I actually have influence in the world. I'm not a powerless person with no influence. I just messed that person up. I must have influence. They get an actual high off of making you feel bad. And then they will disguise it in this, I'm just concerned. The children of narcissists universally report that no one believes them. I have to tell you, she always talks about you in the most caring way. Again, it's just covert. That's what happens. They are actually hiding the abuse in loving terms, deniability. Narcissistic mothers will start to go a little bit quicker through this because there's 24. But they violate your boundaries. They don't let you have your personal space. I remember when I was growing up, I go into my room and I couldn't find some of my stuff. And I'm like, where is it? And then she's like, oh, your room was a mess. I cleaned it. Really, she was just taking my favorite things and making it so I couldn't find it to just mess with me. Well, I mean, really, that's a boundary violation, taking my property and just like gone. Oh, I didn't think you needed that anymore, so I threw it out, or just, I could tell you from my personal experience, she wanted like to do different things like me, like this ear therapy, sticking this thing in my ear and just, stuff. She wanted to like, she wanted to pop my zits. I'm like, don't pop my zits. And she's like, well, you need help. And it's like, listen, I'm telling you, this is a boundary. I don't want you doing this. They don't respect any personal space at all. They'll, and they'll do it in the guise of, well, I'm just being a good parent, and so they don't respect you. Actually, they don't even let you have your own. If they don't let you have your own opinion, express your opinion, think what you think. Again, here, it keeps tabs on your bodily functions, humiliates you by divulging this in front of others. My mom did that. Yeah. So, no privacy in the bathroom or bedroom. They come in without walking, without knocking. They just come in anytime. Very nosy, snooping. So this is narcissistic mothers. Yeah, they love to probe into private, personal feelings, and even if you're like uncomfortable, they'll keep probing. So favoritizes, and this is pretty dysfunctional in general for families. There's a golden child in the family. There's a black sheep. Narcissists. Others do this, not just narcissists. But if there's a black sheep in the family, that black sheep can't get ahead. The black sheep's the scapegoat. Everyone blames that, the black sheep kid, so they don't have to look at their own issues, So a lot of dysfunctional families have this, the black sheep, the golden child, etc. The golden child's the one they put out to the world. See, I'm such a great parent. Look how great my child is. And then the problem child, they put all their sins on you so they don't have to focus on themselves. So not just narcissists, but, a lot of dysfunctional families will do that. Narcissistic mother undermines, if you ever get ahead. I remember there were times some of my siblings made great achievements and my mom got depressed, and they'll actually kind of be joyful when you're sick, or, they're actually in a better mood when you are not doing well for whatever reason. Like they act concerned, but you can actually tell they're in a better mood, but then they're in a bad mood when you're doing well. And that reflects in their behavior. But again, covertness. Narcissistic mothers are typically very covert. They're being cruel. They're undermining you in covert ways. Right here. Anytime you're to be center stage, you excel anything, and she can't be center stage. She'll prevent the occasion from happening. My mom, I was a lonely kid, didn't have many friends. In high school, I started to get friends. She'd actually sabotage the friendships, try and get me to blame this kid for some small thing, saying he's a terrible kid for this little small thing he did, and try and drive a wedge in between us. They might do that with girls you're dating. Oh, this terrible girl. And what they're doing is they're trying to make it, all your attention goes to me, not to your friends, not, oh, you got a girlfriend? Okay, I'm going to talk trash about this girlfriend. They're sabotaging, undermining. You excel at something, they'll steal the spotlight, put in little wounding comments, picking fights, being unpleasant. Like, this is all like before, maybe you have a big race coming up or a basketball game coming up in high school or whatever, and she'll do something to make you feel bad before that, demeans, criticizes, denigrates. So constant criticism. Again, there's 24 traits here. There's other personality types that have some of these traits. Constant criticism is not good. Even occasional criticism, if it's couched in the wrong way. I did a video presentation, or one of my episodes recently was talking about these red pill coaches that will shame and just crap all over people that are looking to them for help, calling them losers. You're a big fat loser. And it's like, that's actually a sign of narcissism for the guy who did that, just FYI, but I'm sorry, but it's true. I mean, look at, how much certain people, do these people ever encourage, or do they just criticize? Think about that. So, lots of criticism, not good. I mean, in that episode, I think it was just last week, I showed you a scientific experiment done where just -5 points, people had 200 starting points. They had a maze to go through, this little puzzle task to solve. And they were given two choices, one or two outcomes. One, that didn't work, try again. That it was served to them at random. That didn't work, try again for one group. The other group, each time they failed, got a message. That didn't work. You lost 5 points, try again. The group that got lost 5 points each time they failed gave up 2.5 times quicker. And so criticism is constructive criticism, yes. And actually, corporate trainers will train managers how to criticize in a good way. They'll first point out, okay, you did this great, you did this great, that great. Here's an area where you can improve. And I think if you did this, man, you would just take it to the next level. So they're actually being honest with you about what you need to improve. They're keeping it real, but they're couching it in a way that's not going to make you feel bad about yourself. Yes, sometimes criticism is necessary, but don't do it in a shame-based way. Don't do it in a way to make someone feel bad. If they're doing it in the way that makes you feel bad, strong sign of narcissism. Just calling someone a fat piece of shit because they're overweight, not good. They make you look crazy. They're going to try and, again, narcissistic mothers are doing everything covertly, and they don't want you to figure out that they're actually abusing you. So they will gaslight you. They will kind of change it didn't happen that way. No, you have an overactive imagination. They'll try and make you doubt your own reality, and do things to confuse you. My mom would, I'm used to something being in a certain place. She would move it and put it in another place where I wouldn't find it right away. When I ask about it, she would say, oh yeah, you're just so forgetful. And it's like, no, she actually freaking moved it. And then use that to help me doubt my own memory, help me doubt my own reality, because if you're the crazy one, then she can't be the abuser. You're just delusional, right? It's another cover to cover the abuse. Do you not remember? You can see the text here. Just all sorts of, not just telling you you're remembering it wrong, but doing little things like what I just told you. Moving the location of stuff. Oh yeah, you just have a bad memory. It was there the whole time. Just little. Narcissists are masters of manipulation, of insidious ways to make you feel bad. And you're like, you don't even realize they're doing it. You just know that you feel bad. You just know you don't have confidence, low self-esteem. Narcissists are envious. They want all the glory. You can't get any of it. If you get any glory, you'll see some envy, start going quicker. Lies all the time. And you know what? Maybe women lie about little small white lies, but if they're doing anything beyond that, and a lot of guys do white lies too. Anything beyond that, like if it's actually stuff that's harmful, yeah. And honestly, a lot of white lies honestly makes a person untrustworthy. So everyone, a little white lie every now and then, okay. But if it's just like constant lying, again, a lot of it is to get you to doubt your reality, to hide the abuse. So, but you'll pick up sooner or later, someone just can't be trusted. They're contradicting themselves. If you heard someone say one thing and then the next day say something that contradicts themselves, honestly, by the way, Andrew Tate does this. Sorry, guys, it's true. I could do side-by-side clips and show you how he hates corruption, but he embraces it at the same time. All sorts of, he just constantly contradicts himself. It's not good. If you see contradictions, lies, like on a systemic level, strong sign. It's, again, narcissists aren't the only people who do this, but it is a sign of narcissism. Has to be the center of attention all times. It kind of ties into everything else we said about them being envious, whatnot, stealing your thunder. If you excel, a normal mother would just, I'm so proud of you, son. You did such a good job. Not a narcissist mother. They'll actually be envious. They have to be the center of attention. Manipulate emotions. The number one way they do this is shame, making you feel ashamed of yourself. And then they literally, like I said, emotional bullies, feeding on your pain. Exceptionally sick and bizarre behavior. Like I said, when her children were suffering in pain, they were sick or depressed or whatever, a narcissist kind of feels a narcissistic mother kind of feels needed, like, oh, I can take care of this kid and be important, but they want you to be sick in order to do that. And they actually enjoy your suffering. It makes them feel better. It's pretty twisted. So if you had a mother who you noticed seemed to be in a better mood when her children were not feeling well, and is not in as good a mood when their children are doing well, maybe and maybe it's hard to put two and two together. She's not saying I'm in a bad mood because you're doing well. It's just she happens to be in a bad mood when you're doing well. She's not going to say, oh, I'm a little exuberant now because you're suffering. They're not going to spell it out to you, but they do it. Yeah. So now a lot of you guys who don't have any experience with narcissists or narcissistic mothers, you're like, holy crap, this is sick. Well, yeah, this is why 10 to 15% of the people who come to me have narcissistic moms. And I would say it's probably it's probably 20. Well, yeah, I'd say probably 10% narcissistic mom and narcissistic dads, like between BPD, narcissist, sociopath, just all the anti-personality. It's like I don't get too many psychopath parents, but I've gotten a few. Sociopath, there's less, but BPD, narcissist parents, mom or dad, all together, including all those, probably about 20-25% of the people who come to me. Narcissistic mothers, it messes you up more because it's very covert and there's a lot of confusion and a lot of doubt as to whether she was even abusive or not. So these people, very, narcissistic women, selfish and willful. And it crosses a line between solipsism. And honestly, I know a lot of American women exhibit to a point some of these behaviors. Well, if they exhibit more than one or two of these at more than one at a severe level, anyone, or more than two at three at a moderate level, even one at a moderate level, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's definitely not relationship material, just not, and so honestly, in the United States, this probably gets rid of at least 70-80% of women if with one or more of these traits to enough of a degree that it disqualifies them for a relationship. It's true. So selfish and willful. Solipsism is they just kind of think they're kind of the center of the universe. They think of themselves first. They tend to have compassion for children, but kind of tend to be oblivious of men and what men go through. That's normal solipsism. But if it's just outright selfishness where they never think of you, everything for them, and they never reciprocate at all. Like you sacrifice they never do anything nice in return. Like you've taken them on 6 dates. They haven't done anything to show, appreciation. Yeah, that's a given. They should be appreciative, but maybe just give you a small gesture. I was dating a girl and she brought this little bin with little dog treats for my dog. I mean, if you've gone out with a girl 6, 7, 10 times, she hasn't done anything like that. She's not relationship material. But in a mother context, when you're being raised as a child, we're observing everything around it, and we're forming beliefs and opinions. And when a mom is selfish and willful, imposing her will on you, everything's about her, the kid is going to get the message that I don't matter. The child doesn't matter. Only the mom matters. And that is going to lead to a child growing up and having really low sense of self-worth. And maybe it's bad or wrong for them to get what they want. They're not allowed to get what they want, etc. I'm sorting this out for guys all day, every day. And women too. I have women do sessions with me. Self-absorbed. It's the same. There's a lot of overlap between these, It's all about her feelings, her wants, her trauma. She worries around her trauma, the things she's suffering with, and doesn't even notice what you're going through. Very defensive. So if you see someone who is very critical of others, but you criticize them and they blow a gasket, I know a couple red pill coaches who do this. It's actually a big sign of narcissism. So not saying someone is full-blown NPD. That I'm not saying they're a full-blown narcissist, but it's a pretty strong narcissistic trait. If they are constantly criticizing others and you give them one criticism, they lose their shit. It's a big freaking red flag. If your mom did this, if you're dating a girl who does this, it's not just being very defensive, but criticizing others a lot and then being very defensive on top. Huge red flag. This one thing by itself, I would get the hell out. I wouldn't even date a girl for fun. I would just get the hell out of her. There'd not be a second date, period. Terrorizes. And a lot of it is just a lot of what we call acts of microterrorism, just little things to cause you trauma. Little punishments, little shaming, little acts of shaming, the criticisms, and it will put this child in a state of walking on eggshells. And BPD mothers do this as bad or worse than narcissists. Walking on eggshells, because if you say the little thing, mom will get upset, and this if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. It's like, well, that's a bad mama. I'm sorry, that's a mama who only thinks about herself. And terrorizing others because she's in a bad mood, not good. Infantile and petty, childish. If they don't get their way, they're going to get upset, aggressive and shameless. And that's the thing. They criticize you. They hold you to this high standard, but they're hypocrites. They don't hold to their own standards. They'll have you hold to the standards and then shamelessly violate on their own, just do whatever they want. And, very demanding in an aggressive way. Parentifies. This one, it's kind of an interesting term that they use here, because it says, she said she had your responsibilities as soon as you're able, leaving you to take care of yourself as best you could, denying medical care, adequate clothing, etc., etc. It's kind of funny because what they do is they will criticize you all day long. They'll control you all day long. They'll manipulate you all day long. But then you get secondhand clothes. Then they don't pay for your college education or pay for very little of it. Then they spend a lot of money on themselves and just a little bit on you. You'll get, they'll pack your lunch with low quality food. Again, if your mom's dirt poor, that's all she can afford. That's one thing. But if it's, wow, you're middle class, upper middle class, and it's like, okay, you're criticizing, manipulating, saying that you're just trying to be a good mom, but then you don't expend a lot of resources to actually take care of me. I get like low quality stuff. Ew, not a good sign. So I'm telling this for you guys out there who are raised and who are struggling, wondering why you're struggling, because as we're growing up, we're getting the message. Our subconscious mind is getting the message. Wow. Our subconscious mind processes 1,000 times more data per second than our conscious mind. It picks up on all sorts of stuff. When we're dreaming, our subconscious mind is putting two and two together, processing the day with all the massive amount of data it noticed that your conscious mind may not have noticed. And so it's processing it when you're dreaming. So we're getting this message as kids. Oh, my mom says she loves me, but give me secondhand clothing, reserves the best stuff for herself. Our subconscious processing that, and it typically comes to confusion. Oh, I'm a second-class citizen. I'm not as good as my mom. I'm not good enough. This is so even when this stuff can be very indirect, it can even if you're not directly criticized, it's all just like insidious, kind of on the periphery of your consciousness. It's still gonna lead you to grow up with feelings of worthlessness. I don't deserve the good things. I can't get what I want, because if I go after what I want, then my mom's upset. If I achieve something, I get cut down by my mom. And some of you guys are now it could be your dad too, but some of you guys wonder, geez, why can't I get ahead? And it's like, well, if in your childhood, anytime you started to achieve, one of your parents seemed unhappy in one way or another, or they didn't give you praise, or they did insidiously cut you down. Your subconscious, like, if you get what you want, it's going to hurt. You're going to feel worthless. All these triggers are going to come in. And as an adult, you're like, why am I stuck? Why do I procrastinate? Why can't I get ahead? A lot of this covert stuff, becoming aware of it is going to help you understand, oh, damn, it's not my fault. But then you got to clear the trauma. Nothing's going to happen until you go in and clear these bad programs. And it's mental models you're conscious of, it's trauma you're unconscious of, but you just have lots of anxiety, depression, whatever, limiting beliefs, procrastination, self-sabotaging, whatever, all this insidious stuff. Now, again, a parent doesn't need to be full-blown NPD. Maybe they only do 5 or 6 of these things. It's still later in your life going to manifest in a way where you're struggling. And if you don't get this clarity, you're not going to know. You got to know what the problem is before you clear it. Some people focus on the problem, never fix it. Huge mistake. Be aware of what's going on and then go inward and fix it. That's what I do. That's what I did for myself. I'm living my best life. I mean, just overcome tremendous amount of, I used to have massive anxiety, massive depression. I had anger, I had rage, all gone. Earning a 6-figure salary, been in the 6 figures for a long time now, live my best life, getting success with women. I believe myself, my value. It's great. Getting what I want. I'm living in Mexico because I can work anywhere in the world. I'm going to Costa Rica next. I have friends here. I have friends all over the world. Connection, fulfilling job. It's great. Couldn't do that if I didn't get all my limiting beliefs out of the way that said, I'm not good enough. I couldn't get this. I don't deserve it for one reason or another. I got rid of it. Now I'm getting exactly what I want. Back in the United States, I lived a baller life there, but now I'm living an even better life here. So here's projection. She projects. So projection is people feel bad inside and they put that out into the world. They think, well, because of how I feel, that's how the world is. So if someone, for example, if someone feels, trying to figure out how to put it. So number one, people who project don't want to face their own insecurities, their own deficiencies, their own toxic shame. So it's a form of denial. It's a form of, it's not me, it's everyone around me. They can't deny that they have some bad feelings in them. But they don't say, oh, I have this bad feeling because I believe I'm not good enough. They're like, oh, others are making me feel this way. That's where this feeling comes from. And so they'll project all these bad beliefs and say it's everyone around them, not them. Because, the majority of people, it's true, don't want to go inside and face their own pain and clear it. Number one, they don't know how. If they went in and looked at their pain, they just feel pain. They wouldn't know how to clear it. They wouldn't believe they could clear it. That's why I do what I do. And honestly, again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just working with people who have beliefs on them. I'm teaching people to believe in themselves. I'm teaching people to love themselves, accept themselves, believe in their ability and value, believe they're worth it, and then they take off. So I'm not diagnosing any disorder or treating any disorder. But with that said, if you have bad beliefs in you that are painful, people don't want to face it because our brain is designed to get us to, above all, avoid pain. If there's painful stuff in us, we'll do all this stuff to numb that pain out. Some people become alcoholics. Some people just tons of porn, video games, social media to distract, just constant distraction from what's in them. And some people will be bullies and some people will be emotional bullies. And a lot of people, when they have all this painful stuff in them, they don't want to face it. So they project it onto the world outside of them. Everyone else is a bad person, if they feel bad inside, for example. Well, that's what projection is. And this is why narcissists treat other people so bad, because deep down, narcissists really are very insecure people, and they really have a lot of toxic shame, and they really feel very bad about themselves. There's actually 2 types of narcissists. There's different ways to categorize them, but there's what's called the invulnerable and the vulnerable narcissist. Invulnerable, you can criticize them, nothing gets to them, because they just have such a wall, such a shield up. But the invulnerable, it's called, you can give them what's called a narcissistic wound, which means you actually trigger a bad, painful subconscious belief in them. You give them, this is why a lot of narcissists criticize others all day long. You give them the littlest criticism and they just lose their shit because they have a lot of trauma in them. And when you confirm, oh, you really aren't good enough, like they feel insecure, and you do something, maybe you insult them or do something to confirm, oh, yep, that really painful belief in you. Guess what? It's true. I'm telling you it's true. I'm pushing your buttons. I'm criticizing you now. They lose their crap because that's what's in them getting triggered. They really, narcissists live a pretty miserable life. They really do. And they're just doing everything they can to cope with their miserable feelings, trying to feel better about themselves. It's really maladaptive, you know, so that's why they're sucking the life out of others and just so focused on all this negative crap in others. There's a reason for that. You know, it's a coping mechanism. You know, that's why they're never wrong about anything, because if they are wrong, then their trauma gets triggered and it's absolutely horrible for them. No awareness that other people even have feelings. Yeah, well, that's what trauma does. It makes you very self-centric, even though it's kind of ironic. It's like you're ignoring the pain, but because of the pain, you're going to be focused on everything you can do to cope with your pain. Even if it hurts others, doesn't matter. You know, blaming, number 22. I mean, you can just see it right here. Lying. There's a lot of overlap between these: blaming, projecting, parentifying. Parentifying. You're responsible for her feelings. She has no responsibility for theirs. That's a good definition. That's the definition I was looking for. Destroys your relationships. Again, I mentioned that. And then this one right here. Last resort, going pathetic. And doing this to kind of, she's been avoided. She's been confronted. There's no avoiding it. And so they'll make you feel sorry for them by going to a soggy puddle weeping. This is pretty rare. It's kind of a last resort for them, but they're doing it to make you feel bad for them. Oh, okay. I guess she's finally taking accountability. So I guess I'll give her another chance. I mean, that's really what they're doing. They're using that tactic because they need people around them that they can make feel worse. It's called narcissistic supply. They need people to emotionally bully. So they need you there. So last resort, they'll do this to, or, you know, they'll, in relationships, they do something called hoovering. Oh, and it's just a tactic to suck you back into the relationship, saying they're sorry or whatever. They suck you back in, and then they just start the abuse all over again. So you shouldn't feel sorry for them. You should just, once you understand they're narcissists, once you see them using these tactics, the best thing is to limit your exposure to them as much as possible, if not completely get them out of your life, and really just limit your exposure. So that, I hope, will give you guys some insights, because a lot of this is so covert. A lot of you guys are born into dysfunctional families, and this applies not just to narcissists. These are a lot of tactics other dysfunctional parents use. You're born into these dysfunctional families, and it's your normal. You're like a fish born into a dirty pond. That dirty pond's all you ever have known. You don't even realize how dirty the pond is because it's all you've ever known, but your gills hurt. Your gills hurt. You feel sickly. You feel not good. You don't even realize the water's a source because it's all you've ever known, and it's everywhere. It's all around you. Being raised in an environment like that, it's like that. So hopefully for some of you watching, so I know a lot of you guys aren't struggling with this on this level. I'll get to comments as well. Sorry, guys, got pretty focused. But I'll address all these comments as well. Hopefully this gives you guys some awareness of, if you were raised in this dirty pond, that guess what? You are actually raised in a dirty pond. If you see these signs in other people around you, see other people doing this, red flags galore, dating, whatever. Guy friends, you know, I had abusive guy friends who were narcissists who would make me feel worthless. You know, this was back in high school when I was really susceptible to this. So the ebook, yeah, if you want, the ebook is going to talk about your subconscious mind, but I'll leave the link After this video, I'll go back, put the link in. You can Google 24 characteristics of a narcissistic mother. It just lays it all out really well. There's others that say 25 traits, 27. They're trying to do one more trait. It's the best article I've seen is the 24 characteristics of narcissistic mothers. You can Google it, or I'll just put it in. And guys are saying, hi, that's cool, man. You know, let's have a community. Let's help each other. Neo in the house. P-Dubs, long time listener. Love you, P-Dubs. Thank you for thumbing up, red pill up on all my videos. EC Smooth. Lie to the cops when you get pulled over. That's about it. Yeah, we're talking about lying about almost everything, or just pervasive, constant lying. Everyone lies a little. The narcissist lies a lot systemically. See what else it got. It sucks when they do that. RP coaches shaming their clients' audience. The science shows that is terrible coaching. The science shows you do more harm than good. That's the science. Facts. The red pill is about facts, so this is a red pill truth. When you shame or criticize others, not in a constructive way, helpful way, but you're just calling them a fat piece of shit, saying, oh, you're not a high value man. You look like an Amish. You know, I'm 50 years old. I'm in better shape than you. How's that even possible? You know, that type of shaming language, it's terrible. I mean, I showed you guys the science. Go back and watch that episode. It's there. It's terrible. You do more harm than good. The best coaches, people higher value than anyone in the red pill manosphere, they don't do it that way. And I showed you examples. I showed you Custy Amato, Mike Tyson's first coach, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They don't do it that way. Snoop Dogg has a, I think there's a show on Netflix where he was a football coach. Watch how he does it. It doesn't mean you're not tough at times, but you're not going to shame and make them feel like crap. You don't make them feel bad about themselves. You build them up. Anyone who does that, get them out of your life. Not worth it. It's not, your well-being is not worth it. You know, get them out of your life. Getting rid of the program is a hard part. That's why I'm here. Intermasculine.com. If you know what to do, you can actually get rid of it pretty quickly. Meaning, how would I put this? I cured my manic depression in 2 months with self-hypnosis. 2 months. Really, maybe it's a month and a half. I don't know. I started after I listened to this lady, Melanie Tony Evans, her self-hypnosis audios. Again, she calls it quantum freedom healing, but it really is a type of self-hypnosis. After the third or fourth audio, I was just like happy for no reason. Like, and I was kind of half-assing it. I was falling asleep halfway through these audios. Still, after I listened to her audios 10 times after 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my goodness, my life's different forever. I feel so much better. So really, even after like a week, 2 weeks, massive difference with self-hypnosis. EMDR can be awesome if the practitioner is trained well. Psychedelics can be awesome. I like hypnosis because I think that's the best at not only clearing trauma and bad subconscious programs, but also replacing it with the best subconscious programs, unconditional self-love, self-validation. The more I do anything, the better I get until I get whatever I want. Think how helpful that belief is. You're going to keep going. Failure doesn't affect my value. It's just practicing, learning, and growing. You know, those who succeed the most first fail the most because they try the most and they try the hardest things. Only those who fail are on the path of greatness. We put these beliefs in you. Failure is a sign you're trying hard things and that you're on the path of greatness, not on the path of mediocrity, not on the path of failure, not on the path of safety, the path of greatness. It's a sign you're on that path. We put that deep down in your core. We get rid of the bad stuff, put that stuff deep down in your core. People take off. Watch my testimonials. I have so many interviews on this channel. People just like change their life. 1 session, 2 sessions, 3 sessions. Brent Caldwell's here. What's up, boys? Brent Caldwell. Took 3 sessions to take him from a guy who couldn't hold a job. Massive. He told his story on here. Massive anger. Couldn't get certified. Master mechanic. Couldn't pass a single test in 6 years. 3 sessions. Year and a half later, passed all 8 tests. Making 6 figures now. Success with women. Plenty of success. I mean, just totally flipping things around for guys. Again, every guy's different, but it doesn't have to be a long, drawn out, arduous process. You just have to know what to do and then commit to do it and do it. That's why I'm here, because these are super powerful techniques that I'm using. Just watch the testimonials. I'm giving you guys the proof. I'm giving you the receipts. Yeah, each testimonial is like 30 minutes or whatever. Fine. This is life-changing stuff. Watch one a day until you're convinced. And then if you got stuff in you that needs to clear, I'll help you out, man. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I gave up my $190,000 a year job, work from home job, no corporate boss, doing my own thing. Gave that up for this. And it's great, man. Totally. No regrets at all. Honestly, in the long run, I'm making more money anyway. So, and I make good money with this now. So it's all good. Finding the trauma. So I'm giving you guys this awareness. So guys that are struggling, maybe you see in your childhood some of this stuff that previously was covert and hidden, you have some fogginess about, maybe you have some clarity now. But then you want to actually resolve the trauma in you. EC Smooth, my man. Your gills hurt. Yep. A fish in a dirty pond. Born in a dirty pond. Okay. This is a good one. Question: how do you protect a child of 12 who's living with a narcissistic mother? Well, here's the thing. Let's say you have two parents, and one parent is a kind, loving, supportive parent, and the other parent's a narcissist. That kind, loving, supportive parent can mitigate a lot of damage the narcissist would otherwise do. Won't mitigate everything. That kid's still going to have challenges. And once they get older, start going to, therapy, self-hypnosis, something. I help about 95% of people. There's about 5% of people I cannot help. So that's, especially in those situations, look at EMDR, look at psychedelics. Normal therapy can help you too. It's just in a lot of ways it's very slow, but there's some good things it can do. Give it a try. But if there is someone on that kid's side, if that child has an ally saying, listen, I know your mom treats you rough, but hey, it's okay because blah, blah, blah. You're really not a bad kid. I'm proud of you. I love you. Be a positive influence in that child's life. That can mitigate some of the damage. But let's face it, that child's going to be with a emotional vampire and emotional bully until they're 18 or 20 or whenever they leave the house. So the best you can do is be there for the kid and give that kid unconditional love, support, encourage them, say you're proud of them. Anytime they do something good, say they're proud of them. Say that, hey man, I don't judge you for anything. You can tell me anything, man. Maybe even reveal something, a struggle you've had, to build some trust. Keep it real, keep authentic. Never, ever, ever, ever shame that child. The child's just going to clam up. He gets that from his mom. Be there for the child. If that child grows up with an ally, it mitigates the damage. I didn't have any allies. I was bullied. My dad had his issues, emotionally shut down. He's married to my mom. Mom's a narcissist, bullies, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of loneliness, not accepted by other kids. In the later years, yeah, but you don't have an ally growing up, that's where you get a lot of damage. Like you're a kid growing up, no one has your back, everyone's tormenting you. That's where there's a lot of damage. So a kid who has someone on his side can really help. It won't completely fix it, but it'll really help mitigate the damage. What can you teach her to withstand everything I just said? Hey, listen, you can explain to her, listen, your mom, she has some stuff in her background that if the child can see any abuse in her mom's life, you can then explain, listen, a lot of bad things happen to your mom and she has that pain in her. It's making her take it out on you. It's not your fault. I'm just letting you know. But you got to be careful because if it gets back to the mom, you got to be careful. But the number one thing you can do is just be the kid's ally, be completely unjudgmental, get the kid to open up to you, trust you, and never judge the kid. Let him have that outlet where he can express what he really feels and validate those feelings. Let him know he is worth something. He can get what he wants. The child needs an ally. That's the number one thing you can do. How do you deal with psychosis? Man, that's a whole nother episode. I don't even really deal with the psychosis aspect. That's really not what I do. Psychosis is you're losing touch with reality and you really need a medical professional for that. I have people who've come to me who've had psychosis, and I help their painful beliefs, and that's massively helpful. But psychosis is not my field. I'm fixing bad core beliefs, putting good ones in. Psychosis, you've lost touch with reality at some point. I got to step into an appointment. I'll watch this video after. All right, my man. Totally cool. Help. Yeah. Thanks, EC. I'll see you again soon. And see what I said, guys. This stuff works. I have people coming in telling you guys this stuff works. Thank you, EC. Thanks for lending your voice. It cured me. I did it for John MLD, massively up-leveled him. He'll be the first to tell you that. That's why I'm a presenter in his one of the 5 presenters in his Inner Game Healing group, why he's promoting me, marketing me, because I helped him change him. Watch my testimonials. This stuff is super freaking powerful, changing lives all the time. I'm doing this so I can help people. That's why I'm tooting this horn. It's a methodology. It's not me. I'm very good at the methodology, but I'm not like superpowers or anything. It's just a methodology. People need awareness that there is a way to fix all this stuff. I fixed it for myself. You didn't have anyone on your side. Yeah, that is tough. That is tough, but you can overcome it all. You can go back, and we do what's called inner child work. You can go back and parent yourself. You can go back and be the good mom and be the good dad as needed that you never got. Give yourself the love and approval you didn't get as a child, that every child needs to get this self-belief in you, in your ability, your value. Yeah, man. So, all right, man. So looks like Vegeta and EC Smooth have a bromance. That's cool. Bromance is cool. Platonic. Oh yeah, is that you this Thursday? All right, my man. Yeah, I'll see you soon, bro. So that's our show for today. Hopefully I brought some awareness to this type of abuse. It's very covert. A lot of people don't even understand what's going on, don't understand why they struggle. If you see any of this in any girl you're dating, big red flags, definitely not relationship material. Maybe if they don't have too much of it, you can date them for fun, but buyer beware, right? So that's the show. You know how it goes, guys. Thank you for watching. All of this, like if you've been in an abusive family like this, I overcame it. I'm showing you how to overcome it. I can help, or if not me, look at psychedelics, EMDR. There's Paul Apex Mindset. He does good stuff. There's a lot of professionals out there that do good stuff. I think cognitive behavioral therapy by itself is incomplete, but it can be helpful. So I would look into more than just CBT if you're like really struggling with some stuff. But at the end of the day, this can all be fixed. You can fix the effects of all of this. The solution is out there. And in the end, I don't fix people. I show people how to fix themselves. I did that for myself. And once you fix yourself, you then realize you have more power than you know. That's our show. Thank you.